I'll read a couple of these poems to take us home. This is called For Women's History Month. I wrote it before I got here, so I'm ahead of the game. Of poetry and women. Many will swear by the sun that the poetry of a woman lies in the sublime symmetry of her curves. Others will swear by the moon that the poetry of a woman lies in the sweetness of her exquisite and inspirational kiss. By the stars, more will say this: passion is a woman's singular persuasive art. No, my son, these things are far from the mark. The all-powerful poetry of a woman dwells in her heart. I got a son who's turned 21, so I wrote some advice to him in my book. I thought he'd listen to me. This is advice to the son, number one. I got a lot of them, but I didn't put them all in the book. If you love a flower, water it gently and keep it far away from the storm. My son, if you love a woman, shower her with kindness and consideration. Keep her secure and far away from uncertainty. Advice to the son too. If you're a free, solvent, and you love a legally available woman of good character who's inclined towards you, run to her. Claim her. Cherish her, lest regret become your wedding ring and uncertainty your bride. This is advice to my son-in-law down in Florida. I hope you're watching. You might read this in the book somewhere. I didn't put your name on it though. Love is work. Love is forgiveness. Love is compromise and compassion. It's more than looking magically into someone's eyes and saying, I love you. It's saying, I want the best for you. Love is trying to multiply happiness by 2 after it has been divided by 2. It's the new math and the old math of heaven and earth. A lightning rod married to lightning. A mystic baton conducting a concert of reconciliation between storms of ice and storms of fire. Now, these are 3 women I met, and they were so beautiful I couldn't decide which one I wanted to be with. And they told me to take off this red hat, but anyway. I met 3 precious pearls on the road to Nod one night. These 3 sisters were wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They asked me for answers to questions about life, which I did not know or understand. Humbly, I pleaded, please instruct me. Knowledge and understanding laughed. They laughed at my naivete, but wisdom had mercy on me and followed me, carrying her lamp into the night. I turned my head, smiled, and walked. How could I not embrace her? For her kiss enthralls my heart like the dew of the dawn. So, I married wisdom. And now knowledge and understanding are my sisters-in-law. These 3 lamps are the lights of my life. Okay, I'm going to end up with Mother Nature. She gave him a cup of tea to rid him of his fever, and wiped his brow with the hem of her cotton dress. She smiled at him and asked him to walk with her. She told him to take a deep breath, embrace the rays of the sun. I will do this for you, my son. I do this for all of you. He looked at her with great admiration and uttered, "Thank you, Mother Nature." That's Joy Brown. I'll tease you a little bit with this, the ending of my book. See, Land of Nod is a special place that I go to write. And when I'm there, I sleep about 4 hours a night. I might be writing sometime between 12 and 4, and I'm in the Land of Nod at that time. And I somehow don't nod off, but I'm there. So I returned to New York. It was 12 before midnight, and the streets of the star metropolis were paved with stars. I was in love and walking in the wonderland of Nod, far away from the maddening crowds of days in the canyons of steel in the land of awake. Dream trucks were plowing up and down the highways and byways of the misty night, delivering dreams to their proper destinations. Millions of customers had logged onto the night with their minds, and dream packages were being deposited into millions of open minds whose eyes were shut wide with wonder. I heard lightning and I heard thunder. It was raining in the land of Nod, in the island of pearls of love. The sweet lips of a cosmic woman were pouring kisses of passion upon the tender turquoise of my soul. I was waiting for the imagination bus or dream taxi that might ferry me over time and space back to my beloved Harlem. I had overstayed my visa in this strange, strange world where I had been an involuntary visitor. I saw huge dream tankers labeled with caution signs, danger, vehicle contains explosive nightmares, they read. One of the huge tankers stopped in front of the porcelain house of 1600 Pensive Avenue and delivered liquid nightmares into a hose in the ground, leading to the inhabitants of 1600 Pensive Avenue. I soon heard frantic screams and unworthy screams coming from that house at 1600 Pensive Avenue. And beings with armchairs fled the house as if chased by some hellish conflagration. The screams were so loud, in fact, that they shattered the windows of the porcelain house, like a tornado breaking its way out of a prison of bottles. I started to run. I dared not panic, for panicking can lead to a recession of the spirit or a depression of the mind. Finally, I saw a happy-looking yellow dream bus. Dream Express, destination New York. I smiled and thought to myself, this is just what I wanted. I started to board the bus, then from out of nowhere, that winged creature violently pushed me to the ground. It was the nightingale that got me into this mess, that blue nightingale whose cage had once held me a prisoner. I thought I had escaped and paid my debt to the Society of Poets. Son of Pence, said the nightingale, go on that highway and you will never return to the land of Harlem again. Those vehicles are only fantasy buses. They are dream excursions. The buses without drivers are daydreams, and the ones with drivers are called night dreams. Board any one of them and you will forever be lost in this highway and byway of the land of Nod. Follow only the green brick road that shines in the moonlight of revelation, and you will find your way to the star who is the mother of your galaxy. There is a stairway between heavens and the earth. It's called a stairway to the stars. This stairway is a sure way of ascent and descent. There are 7 heavens and 7 stairs or steps between each heaven. Each step will take you a light years to travel. The land of Nod is in the first heaven. You are 7 steps up or 7 steps down, depending on your orientation. Please hold on to the handrails, or you will descend into outer space You will fly off into space of forgetfulness. Do not remove your hands from the rails of the stairways for any reason. O son of pens, you must deliver these stories that you have written to the human press. Your stories are like grapes that must go to press. There is a thirsty mind waiting to drink the juice of those grapes at the end of your journey. Do you understand, son of pens, ordered the nightingale? I do, I relented. I just want to get my freedom. I want to go home. Farewell, said the nightingale as she smiled at me. This is the key to your cage. You're just like the other writers. You have caged yourself by your own thinking. Now free yourself, son of pens. The blue nightingale laughed as she flew away. We'll stop right there. But my editor is a writer. She wrote introductions to my poetry. So I'm going to read what she thinks romance is. And good stuff. He held her tightly to the point of breathlessness. And she freely gave up the privilege of air to be so near him. She was the sweet ambrosia of love upon his thirsty lips. He was the strong branch upon which the nest of her heart perched. They were safe. Theirs was a true romance. That's written by Joy Brown. As an introduction to this section of the book. So now we go to one of the poems. It's called The Multiplication and Art of Love. Let me pull this up a little bit so I can see when I'm reading. Say, what passion can knock down the mountains? What hand can stir the ocean like a spoon? It is the heart that loves. The gentle embrace of a lover's face. Those satin nights multiplied delight, blissed by the kiss of a silent moon. It is the power of the surrender, the perfume of tenderness, the sublime tenderness of pleasing the one to whom you owe your heart. That's the multiplication and art of love. We're going to the next section, which is called Desire. And desire is a fire, not kept in place, it can burn down the house. Well, kept in its proper place, it's a warming fire. So fire has to be kept in its place in order to serve the human being properly. It's wild. Well, my editor described desire like this. I'm talking about Joy Brown. Her presence inspired him. He forgot the concept of boundaries when she was near. Therefore, he had to have her in his presence, always. She was his muse, his light that flickered in darkness, his sweet, sweet song. For him, longing became life's necessity. Desire was the sustenance that fed his need. That's why Joy Brown. Let me go to the poem. Discovery. I discovered you. I swam in the deep waters of your kiss, the deep warm waters of your kiss. The rain fell upon us like stars from a cosmic mist. Dawn descended quickly, and it was time for you to go. Night found me drifting, walking blindly in the snow. A glass of your love, please. Pour me a glass of your love that I may sip from its lips and never, ever thirst again. Then pour me another, deeper than any other. What would I give? What would I give to see you? I would give my eyes glimmering with hope, What would I give to hear your voice, all the music in my soul? What would I give to hold you, the moon and the sun, if they were mine, and the time and the distance that I command between my heart and these two hands? This is a random reading. I Love You. It's a song that Cole Porter wrote, inspired the song. I love you, said the April breeze. I love you, whispered the trees. The words I love you made the stars. The words I love you made guitars. I will hold you and play the strings of heaven and sing I love you till you and I, the music and the night, are one. I want to skip over to a section, new section. Next section is called, this section is called Passion. And my editor wrote about passion. Passion sometimes leads to compassion. And compassion sometimes leads to passion. But they're both good. At the end of the day, they may lead to a rhapsody. She walked into the neighborhood social club. Her presence always managed to bring class to a classless setting like this one. She sat at a table, puffed out her compact mirror with her gloved hand and fixed her lips. Every man in the room looked at her, hoping for a gaze, hoping maybe for a smile. She looked at the waiter and said, "I'll take the usual." He replied, "Anything for you, Passion, anything for you." This poem is about passion. It's called A Prisoner of Love. Boy, that's not a bad kind of prison. I don't want to escape. I only want to escape this life and not be loved, not love. The first time that I heard your voice on the phone, I would have surrendered my eyesight to listen to it for 1,000 years. It was a voice so poignant that it dragged tears from my eyes. It arrested my heart, imprisoned my soul. I knew then that I could never escape loving you. Nor did I desire my freedom ever since I fell. I've been chained to my self-constructed cell. I live on the memories now, on our memories, eating the bread of your kisses, drinking the ambrosia of your smile. The warden gave me 3 wishes. Yes, he gave me 3 wishes to choose from. Better food, better cell, more better blues. I begged him to parole me to your touch, to sentence me to hear your voice once again, to place me in the custody of your embrace. I guess I'll die in this lonely, weather-beaten place, hoping to the smile on your face, thankful when it's you I see, because, darling, I will always be a prisoner of love.
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
Now this is about nature. You know, I often look at nature, and the trees speak to me. I'm not crazy, but they have a language. The park, when I go to walk in the park, I see things. I see relationships between things in nature, love affairs. And when I was in the Virgin Islands, I saw a hurricane and the sea, and I thought One of them got angry at the other one, but in a hurricane. But anyway, this was a hurricane and the volcano. I was a hurricane in a hurry to discover the meaning of my existence. You were a singing volcano of passionate fire. We met turbulently on the stage of the night, embracing impatiently beneath the stars. When dawn came, smoke was in the eyes of heaven, and a cooling rain was on the way. I was burning and cold all at once. Then I realized that I had loved you once, madly in my dreams, when I was a lonely volcano and you a passionate, when I was a lonely hurricane and you a passionate volcano. This one I wrote a long time ago, but it still haunts me, so. Love never dies, no matter what happens. It leaves an imprint, sometimes a fossil, that can be discovered later in life. The candle and the flame. You are my one and only flame, and I but a poor candle, locked away in the cupboard of the world. The mere mention of your name excites me. The touch of your lips makes me burn brightly whenever they free me to taste your kiss. I'm in a state of bliss. I don't know how long I can live locked away like this. You are my one and only flame, and I a poor candle, a poor naked candle. As long as you are with me, I live. I will burn hotly with the passion of you until I have nothing else to give. It's you I must wear as a mantle, O flame. It's you and I against the winter's windy breath that blows too wide the curtains of drafty death. O flame, we were never meant to be apart. Candles and flames only share one heart. You are my one and only flame, my one and only lover. I am the candle over which you hover. Move closer, my dear, that we may discover and wear each other as garments to the celestial ball. A light the heavenly corridors of love for all. We shall never die. Our kiss will persist as long as flames and candles exist. We will forever go and come back together again. Always we will be the same. Always the same candle. Always the same flame. In 10,000 earths, in 10,000 heavens unexplained, with persistence in every existence, your name will set the stars aflame. Our hearts are never far. Candles and flames, and telephones ring at the wrong time. And lights and the suns will always be. Our burning love is never done. Windows in the night, wanderers in the night, loves and passerby, searching for the keys of life, dropped from the sky, will kindle us and hold us tight, remembering as they sigh, ah, what a wonderful flame you are, and what a fortunate candle am I. Now, this one is called Unrequited Love, and my editor eloquently described unrequited love, and we've all been there. It's a terrible thing. Man, it's a terrible thing, man. The butterfly got to fly and can't find the flower that he liked. There he knelt before his heart exposed and vulnerable, awaiting a response to his pledge of undying love, with an all-consuming look of hopelessness. She could see his plans for their future in his eyes, and this saddened her because she knew this future could never, ever be. For unrequited love yields to no one. He would now learn the lesson experienced by so many others before him. Okay. Yeah, she wrote a beautiful piece. Okay. Let me just a little closer. This is what I got from observing the sky and the sea. I often go sit by the river. I love water. I just love to be near water. Every place I go, I find where the water is. And sit by the Harlem River. In the Virgin Islands and in places like Jamaica, I spend a lot of time at the beach early in the morning. And when the sun set, I would be there and let it talk to me. But this is what I saw one day. Once upon a time, the sky fell in love with the sea. He heard the splashing of her exquisite voice. Day and night and day, under the moon and under the sun. The sky kept trying to beat the sea, that they might be truly one. He was sad because he believed that that could never be done. And as the sea looked upon his shining face, she sang, "Oh, darling, I'm here in my appointed place. Prove that you love me more, that I may visit you." The sky replied, "Madam Sea, you are to blame, not me. Every day I see you kiss the lips of the shore, first at dawn and later at dusk. You have no time for us." The sea sighed and replied, "Sir Sky, you must understand, it's not a kiss. Every morning I borrow sand, and every evening I must return double in demand. And that's how the beaches expand. That's not mine, that's the master's plan. Besides, the shore is my brother, and definitely not my lover." "Oh, sea, who sings so close to me," he replied, "will you ever belong to me? Will you ever belong to me?" "Oh, sunny sky," she cried, "you are already my husband." "Last night, I visited your bed. I slept sweetly next to your head. And then you kicked me out. And painfully you called me by another strange lover's name. You kept kissing me and kissing me and kissing me and kept calling me rain." "Oh, poet, rain is the sea visiting the sky above and returning home again. Ah, such are the journeys of the heart and the vicissitudes of love, between you and me and the sun and the sea." You know, I wrote these poems between April 11th and December 14th of 2020, but these are things I've thought about all my life and decided to collect them all in one place at that time. I had a friend who inspired me. We used to read poetry together back in the 70s when I was at Columbia. His name is Pedro Rodriguez. And he wrote something called "Suicide Note from a Cockroach" in a low-income housing project. So, Pedro, this is for you. It's called Suicide Note from a Parker pen. Sometimes I think glasses need me. Dear John, once upon a time you loved me. You held no one else above me. We were so tightly wound, dear. We used to work and write together. We wrote in the best of times and the worst of times, in fine and stormy weather. We knew each other in the early dawn before the sun donned her ruby guise. You looked at me lovingly with your dreamy poet's eyes. Then you would hold me tightly in the stormy night beneath the poet's moon, and we would write tones of poetry and lively dancing tunes. You expressed yourself through me, and I through you. That's how poets and their pens used to do. Then you would hold me tightly in the stormy night before the poet's moon. I loved your touch, the touch I love so much. John, you've changed. Now the world is sad and strange and dark and lonely. I only have memories now. I wish I could exchange places with one of your ties. I could get by being proudly worn somehow. You used to keep me in your breast pocket, right here, next to your heart. I stayed in place, in comfort and in pain. I played the part, even in the rain. I remember the time you forgot about me and you sent me to the cleaners, to the dry cleaners. I didn't complain or stain your pride, but now, my dear, you are so much meaner. You don't love me anymore. No, there's nothing left to say. That's why you locked me away in this dark, dreary desk drawer, night and day. I never put up a stink, I never ran out of ink. So I languish in this dark desk drawer, a most haunted home, deprived of liberty and light and insight and the sacred dignity of ever writing a poem. Baby, I just can't take it no more. I'm molested daily by the dark, dying never hearing the staccato beat of your heart. I'll never forget the day that floozy, that multi-fingered keyboard walked into your life. That smooth talking, oh, I can't say that word. Mac thingamajig. Yeah, little did I know that my life as a pen was upended, my privilege as a pen suspended. John, I really depended on you. Theirs is a culture of violence. You have to hit them with fingers to make them write and type. You never had to hit me. I gave you my ink willingly, and I never ran out. Then you brought that floozy, that woman like talking device who was next to you day and night. She will write whatever you say with your voice. So darling, I have no choice. I no longer have a voice. Goodbye, cruel world. I must go the way of the primitive stencil and the number 2 lead pencil. Things like pens and books that people can hold have been dying old and not replaced. We've been thrown out into the deep, lonely cold of cyberspace. I can no longer live in a virtual world without the virtue of love. The world is completely online. The human heart and touch have lost their cotton-picking minds. Yeah. So, John, I write my final words with a hope that you will FedEx my remains to the parallel universe, where poets still love their pens, and pens are not left to die alone in dark desk drawers, where there's still balance and loyalty and love. And the greatest of these things, poet, is love. Love you can touch, love you can feel. So long, John. I know for certainty there's life after poetry, and where music goes after it is played. Love always, C.C. Parker Penn. We have a special reading. I'm gonna read one more, and I have a special spoken word star. And she's gonna read something to you called The Ruby and the Pearl. But before I do that, I want to read something from another section. It's called I Will Be There. I will be there. When the sun closes his eyes and the world is dark. When rivers run away from the sea, then run to me because I will be there. When people laugh but you're in pain, when your favorite song is drenched with rain, I will be there to catch your teardrops before they reach the ground. I'll be around, darling, I'll be around. To laugh and cry and share in spring, summer, fall, and winter's blare. I will be the fire in the snow, the August ocean breeze that we know, the song of a nest of robins in the summer's here. And when the maple fall, I will be there. I'll be standing tall, arms around you, holding you close and near, surrounding you with my love. Darling, I will be there.